Hey book besties, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Cayenne and this is Cayenne is Booked. Happy New Year. This video is gonna be my January hopefuls. I am actually a little tardy in probably getting this posted, but I thought it would be fun to post it on January 1st, 2025 to kind of mark like the start of the new year. I've got a list of books right here. And we're gonna start off with, as always, you know, Justin and I have The Good, the Bad, the Smutty, which is our book club, which is always linked in the description box below. I need to read our December and January picks. So the first book is gonna be Dear Monster Claus by Maeve Black. Just picked it as our December pick because it's her birthday month and the birthday person for that month gets to pick. I don't know too much about it. I know it's like a novella. I know I really like the cover, so I'm excited to read it. Next up, you have The Forbidden Duet by Amelia Emerson, and this is a Megaverse duet. And so we'll be reading both of the books, and I am pretty excited about that. Because I haven't read an Omegaverse in a hot minute, and I kind of like the idea of starting a duet and finishing a duet because sometimes I can be pretty bad about the finishing portion of it. Then I want to continue my reread of the In Death series. So I am on Delusion in Death, which is book 35, 36 of the In Death series. I don't know, to be honest with you. I probably should have written that down. Oh well. I don't know, it's after all of these. So this follows Eve Dallas as always, our main bee, our main girl. I love her so much. I'm having the time of my life re-listening to this series because a lot of these, like, I vaguely remember what happens in them, but a lot of the gotchas are at the end when we like unveil who it is. I'm like, oh yeah, it is that guy. Anyways, so this follows Eve. In the very beginning of the book, a unknown something is released into a bar, and 80 people essentially like fight and like murder each other completely unprovoked, except for like whatever was given to them, right? So then it's up to Eve to track down this person. Like, is it terrorism? Is it just somebody trying to have fun? Like, what is the issue here? So this is the story of how her and her team are going to track down whoever killed these 80 people and essentially put them behind bars and try and figure out what is happening here. So that is this one. Pretty excited to get to that book. All right, then as always, I feel like this is definitely one that I have to mention, Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This does come out on a Tuesday. I've thought about taking the Wednesday off so I could stay up and read the book. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling at the end of January, but I do want to see what the next installment of Xaden and Violet has in store for us. I am incredibly nervous about this one, and I want to read it before the hype gets to me like it did for Iron Flame. So definitely want to read Onyx Storm. Next up, I want to read Pray Tell by Amanda Richardson. This is a new to me author. It feels very like mafia, mob, like billionaire high society to me. It is a brother's best friend. I do know there's primal play in it because it literally says it like in the blurb with like the trigger warnings. And I do know that like she offers her virginity to him and then he's all like, don't know how I feel about that. And then all of a sudden, he's mad because like other men are talking to her. So they definitely like the possession goes both ways almost, it seems like, but it seems like his big weakness is going to be her. So pretty excited about that one. It is the beginning of, I want to say there's 5 books. It's called Ravaged Castle. Next, I want to read Track Her Down by Melinda Lee. This is Bree Taggart number 9. So I've read all of the Bree Taggart books leading up to this one. And daughter gets home. She finds both of her parents like murdered in their bed, and they think it's like a burglary because like the place has been tossed. But Bree soon finds out, she's the sheriff in town. She soon finds out that it's not a burglary and it is actually an execution. And when the daughter's attacked later on, they realize that like it was meant to be like a full family execution, but they didn't get the daughter in the beginning. So they're on and they're against the clock to make sure that like nothing happens to the girl. Then I would read The Taken Ones by Jess Lowry. I haven't read anything by this author. I was actually adding stuff to my wish list, and this book popped up and I found it interesting because it talks about how 2 girls vanished into the woods. Only one comes back, but they never find the other girl. And then like 20 years later, this woman is found clutching the necklace of the girl that they never found, buried alive. and 2 cold case detectives get assigned to the case, but both of them are connected to it in ways that like they're not sure that they want to talk about. So it's this really big, like convoluted, like cold case story. And I've actually been watching the old show Cold Case, that in like the early 2000s on Max. So I'm like really into cold case cases right now. So I was like, oh, this book actually sounds really interesting. So that's why I want to read it. It also has the read and listen option on Kindle Unlimited, which I'm loving. Then you have The Last Sister by Kendra Elliott. So there's 3 sisters. Their dad dies suspiciously, and then like 20 years later, there is another death that is very similar to their dad's quote unquote suicide, I believe is what it was dubbed, or like accidental death. It was not dubbed a homicide originally. And this brings in an FBI agent, and I believe it's going to be between Xander, who's the special agent, and Emily, who's one of the sisters. He believes that the town's like harboring this like major secret that they don't want to talk about. And so he's there to like dig down in it and like kind of see what's going on and kind of like suss out what the problem is. So that sounds like super interesting to me. And this would open up another like kind of like small town, what do you call it? Romantic suspense series that like I can binge listen to, because that's what I did with the Bree Taggart series. So definitely interested in reading that one. And then the last book I'm going to toss on my hopefuls list, because you guys know that there's obviously going to be way more books that I read, but I've got to let the mood reader take over too, is A Promise of Lies by Claire Sager. So if you know the series, then you know that this is the final book in the trilogy to Kat and Bastian's story. And for fans of the series, like, you know that we've been waiting on this one, because that second book's cliffhanger, woo, that thing tossed us right off that cliff. Like, it was mean. It was completely uncalled for, Claire. But I am so incredibly excited to like sink my teeth into this book, and so incredibly excited to see how Bastian reacts to what was essentially like a very, very huge betrayal in his life, and how both of them react to kind of coming back from that. So I'm so excited about this one. It actually came out on December 31st, and I thought about staying up and binging it. But then I was like, ooh, but what if I start my year off this way and think about how cool that's gonna be? So I'm really, really excited about this one, as you can tell, because it's definitely gonna cap off a series that I started in 2024. And the first book actually made my top romantasy books. And I'll link that video down below as well, because I just posted that one. But A Kiss of Iron is the first book in that series, and it hit my top 10 romantasy of the year. So definitely excited about that. Cannot wait to pick this one up. Jess has already read it and she's loved it, so I'm really excited. But those are the books that I'm tossing on my hopefuls list for January, and I am hopeful that I will actually get to all of these books, especially Onyx Storm, because I really want to make sure that before other people's opinions can infiltrate my brain, I can form my own opinions. So that is going to be our January hopefuls list. If you are not already a part of the Kindness Book community, please make sure you subscribe so you can see all the videos that I'm going to have coming for you this year. I'm pretty excited about them. And let me know what your hopefuls are in the list, or if you have a video that you want me to watch because it's your TBR video, please link it down below, because I love watching people's TBR videos. And as always, I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye.